Good morning and welcome to the United Voice, the channel where fans talk about everything fans want to know about. The team, Maguire, that's what we're talking about today. So in this video we'll talk about Harry Maguire and if he has a future at Manchester United. But just before we move on to the main story, I want to talk about Bruno Fernandes. He's been named as the club's Player of the Month. So, well done, Bruno! Well done, Harry Maguire. You may one day be replaced as club captain. That's what I think anyway. Bruno Fernandes should become club captain, not standing captain on the pitch. What do you think? Smash a comment down below. Do you think Bruno should be the club captain? Or, as others have mentioned, I've seen Casemiro. I think it's too soon for Casemiro really. And especially you don't want to be having your captain getting red cards here and there. But that's a totally different story. Or video as such. So anyway, according to latest reports from various sources, Eric Ten Hag is looking to replace Maguire and sell him on in the summer. Wow. However, the player won't be short of suitors looking to sign him, which, if I'm honest, I'm shocked about. I mean, haven't any of these teams seen these so-called interested clubs, seen him, how he plays and how unreliable he is and the amount of issues he causes when he plays? Yeah, I know. I mean, do teams really want to have to adapt to suit Harry Maguire? I can't say, I mean, obviously, he's a professional footballer. Players don't work at one club, they'll move to another, and they may do well, but, he has caused issues for us at the back. So whether United can pursue the calibre of targets that the manager craves could hinge on whether the Glazers are bought out or not, which obviously that's a bit of an obvious, because in January there was no money, and then if the Glazers don't go, and we don't know if they're going to raise any money or not, then where's the money going to come from? The Telegraph and many other outlets have have said basically that United will need to sell before spending. So there you go, there's no money. Right now, if the Glazers stay in the summer, there'll be no money. I mean, imagine that. A summer transfer window where the Glazers still own United and there's no money at all. If that happens, will we challenge for the Premier League title next season? I doubt it. It's not like we'll, get good money from Maguire. And a lot of the dead weight that we've got hanging around the club, well, their value's been dropping because they've just not been playing. So the Manchester Evening News has been reporting that there'll be three players who signed for a combined value, total transfer fees of £153 million. They will be up for sale, with Harry Maguire being the biggest name on that short list. In the Manchester Evening News, Talk Sport and the Mail Plus have repeated the claim that Maguire is on the chopping block. So, yeah, Ten Hag wants him out. The latter, so the Mail, stressed that United are resigned to recouping just half of the 80 million. So that's £40 million for the back from the 80 that we spent on him. I mean, I suppose if he's sitting on the bench, then he's basically worth nothing anyway. It's dead money. It's like if you got a mobile phone and you draw an old phone, you might as well sell it on to one of these companies that buys them off you, or sell it on Facebook Marketplace or wherever. It's better than it sitting in your drawer and becoming worthless. So I suppose £40 million for a player who probably will never command a starting line-up place in United's squad is worth it. So yeah, 2019 we paid Leicester 80 million for Maguire, and even back then everybody thought it was that we were overpaying, and that's been typical of what signings have been like under the Glazers. We overpay. Maguire, and as we know, he's fallen down the pecking order following the arrival of Sandro Martinez. The player, the Argentinian, has struck a formidable partnership with Rafael Varane, and Ten Hag has even selected Luke Shaw. As we know, he selected Luke Shaw out of position above Maguire. So I suppose that tells us why Ten Hag wants him gone, but that still doesn't explain why he's still the club captain. I don't get that. Why he's still the club captain, but he doesn't play. Have you got any ideas on that? Tell me in the comments. I have no idea why he's still the club captain. So, Maguire's now 30. He's 30 years old, and apparently he hopes to play for England in 2024. So he may be thinking to himself, "I'm going to leave the United anyway. Go somewhere pastures new, where I can get a first team spot and play regularly." I wonder where you can go to in the Championship. I don't know. But United won't sell. Apparently, this is comments from someone else. This isn't my script as such. A tried and tested player that Maguire is before lining up a replacement. He's tried and tested, and he's been proven to be not the player we want. So that's not a positive calling him tried and tested. So a player that could replace him is Napoli's Kim Min-jae. He has been heavily linked, and his contract contains a release clause worth just under €50 million that can be activated at the beginning of July. However, and this is according to the Daily Mirror, Ten Hag has lined up a more familiar face in Ajax's Jurrien Timber. Now, if you remember, we were in for him last year, and I think Van Gaal kind of whispered in his ear and said, if you go to United, this were the rumours anyway at the time, that Van Gaal whispered in his ear and said, if you play for United, you won't start for the Netherlands in the World Cup. Obviously, Van Gaal was the Netherlands manager, so he didn't come to the club. So obviously Timber remained in the Netherlands, but you never know what could happen 12 months on. I don't know much about the player. Tell me, who do you prefer, Kim Min-jae or Timber? Moving on, the Mirror named West Ham and Aston Villa as possible routes to escape United for Maguire, if he wishes to remain in the UK. And there are also rumours that PSG, Inter Milan and Roma could be interested in signing the how can I explain it, not so good centre-back. Previously, ESPN has reported that West Ham showed interest in Maguire in January. However, United had at the time no intention of letting him go midway through the season, because obviously they wanted to kind of have backup in case of injury, and obviously more squad depth. And you think, why is this news coming out now about Maguire possibly leaving the club? Well, we're approaching the end of the season, and the opening of the next transfer window. So Ten Hag obviously hopes that he's going to be able to add some quality in depth, which United lack. So back about West Ham, they could see. I mean, if Declan Rice leaves that club, they could soon have the money to spend 40 million on Maguire. Talking about Declan Rice, he's believed to be Arsenal are supposedly the front runners to sign him, although United have been linked with him too for a number of years. Although Chelsea are also in the mix for him. Going back to Maguire, alternatively, Villa are also been mentioned, with Unai Emery's side expected to splash the cash this summer after plans fell. Well, their January transfer plans fell flat. Also, if Maguire wanted to leave British soil, Inter and PSG are named primarily because of who's due to leave those clubs this summer. Milan Skriniar is leaving Inter to join PSG, while Sergio Ramos, who's been unsuccessful in Paris, will conclude the seasons and will leave at the end of the season. By all accounts, PSG have had some defensive frailties this season, and they're looking to bolster that with Skriniar. As for Roma, which we're talking about where Maguire could go and why. So Roma are the final club that Maguire might be able to choose from. They're obviously they're managed by Jose Mourinho, another ex-United manager, who's actually had some success with that club. Right now, there's both Chris Smalling and Tammy Abraham are doing well in Rome, while Mourinho also took a punt on Matic after he left Man United last summer. I don't know how he's got on. I don't really watch Roma. So what do you think? Should Maguire be sold? Or at 30 years of age, could Ten Hag still hope to get the best out of him? Additionally, what about his possible replacements, Kim Min-jae and Jorian Timber? Which, if any, would you prefer? Now, going back to could Ten Hag get the better out of him? We've seen Ten Hag come into United and have an amazing impact on the squad, but there are certain players where maybe it's just a little too late, and in their careers, that is. And I think that's Maguire. It's too late in his career. He's 30 years old. I don't think Ten Hag can have an impact on him that means he can really long term stay at the club, or if he does stay at the club, become more than a bench player. So, going back to Kim Min-jae and Timber, which, if any, would you prefer at the club? Let me know in the comments. And as neither player will come to United to warm the bench, do you think either has what it takes to force Lisandro Martinez or Rafael Varane onto the bench? There's talk that really Varane is coming towards the end of his career, and he can't play three games in a row, so 3 games every week without having a rest. So maybe buying one other centre-back kind of fills that hole with some quality for Ten Hag to choose from. So please share your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Smash a like on the video, and help us to reach more Man United fans by subscribing. Now, if you've got any questions for me, you want to know more about me and why I started this channel, again, leave comments. I'll respond. Let's make this an open, questioning place where fans can have their say and we find and share information together. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later today. United fan out.